Bonjour, my fans. It is moi, G. Suave. Mercy, mercy. La vie, la vie. Today, moi has a special guest. Introduce Lisa. It's your boy, Mr. GSB. So, you know who I know who you be. And that he's seriously, bro. See, my bro, as you said, today on the G Suave movie review, moi will be reviewing You People. Not You People, but You People on Netflix. Starring Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill, and a very long list of beautiful celebrities. What do Val think of this movie? Really good. I enjoyed it. There was some really good acting, and they had some really good actors in the movie. I probably give it a 4 out of 5. No, it is Suave's. Moi gives it 4 out of 5. Suave. The movie, what are you saying? Oh, see. Okay, whatever that is. Mr. Murphy was the undercover and Mr. Hill was
yeah, facts, that's facts.
Push over.
You mean push over?
That is what Moi said. Moi would definitely recommend this movie. Reminds me of Romeo and Juliet. Oh, and Meet the Waka Flockas.
You mean Meet
See,
the
this is what Moi
Fockers?
said. Until next time, au revoir. You don't come back on the show.
Welcome to the B.O.O.B.S show. You got your boy SB, Mr. G. So you know, I don't even say that.
It's all good. It's all good. That's a good blooper.
That is a
You got Callie in the house.
Got Callie.
And we got our special guest here, back again, David Henning.
So, as y'all don't know, well, if you watched the previous shows, a couple episodes back, David was here, and we were talking about the mental wealth episode, and we was talking about as far as life insurance policies, policies as far as final expense and so forth, the millionaire baby policy. There was a bunch of stuff that we discussed, but definitely I'm not going to go into details in the past episode. Go back and watch so you can get caught up. But David is definitely back. We wanted to bring him back here so that way he can kind of address to you as far as the next aspect of the business. Because I know when we was together last time, we did mention that about as far as employment and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to pass the mic to you, Dave. I'm going to let you, because Dave is the maestro in the situation now. Rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's an interesting topic because, I've been in financial services since 2007. and I've experienced a lot of different companies. You know, in the very beginning, I went to a wealth management firm, so I learned how to manage money. I quickly discovered that I didn't enjoy that, didn't like it. You know, I don't like all the volatility of the market, the craziness, right? So I said, well, what's out there that's more stable? And everybody was saying insurance is more stable. So I went to go work for a huge insurance firm, learned a lot, didn't really like working there. You know, I quickly found out that I'm unemployable, you know, and not that they fired me, but I just don't like working for anybody. I don't like having a boss. Right? I don't like people telling me what to do, you know, where to be, when I can go to the bathroom, when I can go on vacation. I need freedom. I'm a true entrepreneur. So I set out to open up my own firm. And I opened up an office. There's a lot of obstacles, a lot of things that you struggle with, you try to figure out. One of the biggest obstacles to opening an insurance company, okay, or a wealth management company, is marketing. Where do you put your focus on marketing to acquire new clients? Okay, so this is the biggest struggle. A lot of people understand now how popular my industry is. If you were to go Google right now, top 10 industries for income, okay, number one is always business owner, but finance is usually somewhere in that top 10. Okay, so what if you combine finance and business owner together?
Wow.
You're getting the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I set out to do. But I quickly discovered that marketing is a struggle. And there's a lot of different companies out there, a lot of different styles and techniques. You know, there's people who do health insurance, right? That's one market. Another company might do final expense insurance. Another one might do a different strategy altogether. You know, you always hear about buy term, invest the difference. There's companies out there that do that, right? And then there's companies that believe in cash value, permanent life insurance. There's a lot of companies that believe in annuities for protection for your retirement assets. But they don't know how to market. And then, you know, like Steve, we know the Medicare market as well, right? So what happened with me when I got started in this industry is a friend of mine said, David, you're really good at Medicare. You know Medicare inside and out. You should market to Medicare because as everybody retires, they need everything else that you do, right? Medicare people are usually getting ready to retire, so they have to roll over their 401ks, 403bs, you know, save that money. And then on the other end, they might need final expense to help protect them, you know, for things like that. So I was like, that's genius. That's perfect, right? So I went out and I started to get contracts with these Medicare companies to do Medicare. And I was like, man, baby boomers, that's where it's at, right? 11,000 people retiring every single day. I'm going to get them all, right? I'm going to help everybody with their Medicare money. Okay? I'm going to help them get their Medicare plan. I'm going to help them roll over their money. And I'm going to be super successful. Well, I started to do Medicare, and I started to run appointments, and I would go into these homes, and what I quickly discovered was most people were not prepared for retirement. Okay, so when I was going in and I was doing Medicare, they didn't have a 401k, they didn't have any retirement assets. They were living paycheck to paycheck on Social Security.
Wow.
And your average Social Security check is somewhere around $1,200 a month. Can you imagine, like, working your whole life, you get to those last few years where you're ready to retire and enjoy your days, and you don't have any money to do anything? Yeah. And that's most people in this country, and that's a struggle. Yeah. That's a very difficult thing. So what I was told was going to happen never happened, right? But I love helping people, so I kept doing Medicare. Well, I was sitting in a home with a woman one day, trying to help her with her Medicare. Yeah. She had a tiny little apartment, about the size of the studio, just a little bit bigger. That was her whole apartment. Wow. And as I was sitting there, I was watching the floor. And the reason I was watching the floor, because it looked like it was moving. Oh, wow. And I was like, man, I must have eaten something really bad for lunch. Like, I'm tripping, you know, in this woman's house. I said, this floor is moving. Wow. And I looked down, and it wasn't the floor that was moving. Her house was infested with German cockroaches. Oh, wow. You know the little tiny cockroaches, right? Yeah. Her house was infested with cockroaches. Wow. So I'm like thinking, man, these things are gonna start crawling up my leg, like all this stuff. But I'm sitting there and I'm trying to help her. And she was only making about $800 a month in Social Security. And she was telling me her story. She's like, I really need your help. I gotta get the right Medicare plan. I gotta make sure I'm protected. But I don't have a lot of money to pay for my Medicare plan. I said, well, there's a lot of good plans out there that you can get with no cost, no premium, right? So the only thing I could do for her that day was help her get into the best Medicare plan to get her the best coverage at the most affordable price. Because she was telling me, she's like, David, sometimes I have to make a choice, on providing enough food or paying my electric bill. Because $800 does not go far.
No.
No, don't.
Okay. And so that day, it broke me. It broke me. And so I left her house. I didn't let her see it while I was there, but I left her house. I got my car and I just broke down because I felt so bad for this woman.
Yeah.
And I said, I was in this industry and I was in this industry for the money because, you go where the money is to make money. And at that time, I'm like, there's so much more purpose to what we do. Right? There's more purpose. And I said, that day I made a commitment. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out and I'm going to build me a financial army. I'm going to build a financial army so that I can go out and educate younger people. My favorite market now, like when I got started in this business, I was looking for older people that had already acquired wealth. Because that's what we were taught. When you do wealth management, you got to work with people who have acquired wealth, right?
Yeah.
But at that day, I said, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to build a financial army to go out and educate as many people as we can. We're going to teach younger people how to save so they're not sitting there in a cockroach-infested house without enough money to eat. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, how do I do that? And I hired a business advisor to help me build a brokerage. And he was showing me all the ins and outs and everything that I should do. And there's a lot of pitfalls, right? There's a lot of struggles, a lot of things that take a lot of money to build an agency. But fortunately for me, I came across a business model that just simplified everything, and I got to partner with a big name in financial services, that had all the tools, all the resources, everything I needed. Because I would have had to spend, tens of thousands of dollars just building out the software and the computer systems and everything else, right?
Yeah.
But they're like, here, boom, here you go. Here's all the software, the technology, everything you need. We're going to give you a household name to work with. We're going to help put you in charge of this area to build your financial army. Okay, and the best thing they did was they gave me marketing techniques that I could reach more people.
Wow.
So now it was like game on, and ever since I haven't looked back. We built a massive agency. We've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of fun. This is actually a very fun industry.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing is when I run into a younger person. Okay, so if you could go back in time, let's just say 15, 20 years, and you met me then, and I showed you a simple strategy. Okay, so if I ask you right now, Steve, what if I can teach you how to save $250 to $300 a month? Okay, and you knew you could retire a cash money millionaire, tax free. Would you do it?
Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
But the question is, doing it, saying you're gonna do it, and doing it is totally two different. You know what I mean? Hard. I want to do it. But 15 years ago,
You didn't know that.
I did know it because I was an insurance agent.
Oh, so he did it.
But it's still, I think we tend to have bad habits as individuals, and I think sometimes, like, so for example, you bring that to me, like, yo, you can save this amount of money. We know the information, we know that how to do it because you told it to us.
So would you
but
say that
it's
you need discipline to do it?
discipline to execute.
You need
it.
discipline, and you said a couple of really good things, Steve. You talked about habits, right? But what if you had, instead of a financial advisor, instead of an insurance agent who came in and sold you something, then left, and you never heard from him again?
Okay.
What if you had a relationship with a money coach? Somebody to teach you, train you, develop you, right?
Okay.
Because here's the biggest thing in finance, right? People don't understand this. They think that money is math. Money is not math. Money is psychology.
Oh, wow.
Your money success is dependent upon your money habits. So you said habits, right? Your money success is dependent upon your habits. So if I can reach you while you're 25, and I can help you instill and develop the right habits to be successful financially, dude, you're like at 30, 40 years old, you're good.
Wow.
You're good.
No, that's factual.
That's fact.
So that's why I want to build my financial army. I want to teach the younger generation how to save, how to grow their money. And I say save, but when I say save, it's a generic term, right? I want to teach you how to invest and grow.
Manage.
Saving, I tell people all the time, money in the bank is dead.
Because you're making bank money, and you're not making yourself any money at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the banks are to use your money to reinvest and make money off of it.
You set my brain on a whole whirlwind.
Yeah. So this is what I want to do. I want to teach people, right? So here's what you have to understand. Our education system is not designed to make you wealthy.
It's not.
Our education system is designed to make you an employee.
It's true.
You're right.
They're right.
When
You're
we
right.
working at Humana, I should probably me and Dave worked at a place together selling insurance, and what's crazy, not one time, oh my God, excuse me, but not one time did they ever say, hey, take X amount of, like they taught us, they helped us get where we need to, as far as they provided leads, or I get it, but they never once said, hey, this is the industry that you're in. How are you going to take care of yourself? We were focused on taking care of others. They never once said to us, hey, take money and put it aside. We're giving you X amount of dollars every month for commission, so forth. They never. It was like, spend your money and come back and work harder the next day to make more.
Or they just only told you what to do versus teaching you what you were doing.
No life. They wasn't giving us no life survival.
Wow.
No. So I'm passionate about teaching the younger generation.
Okay.
But I want to teach them the rules of money. Okay? Because any game you play, so you play basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't play basketball. I'm challenged when it comes to basketball. I got a 2-inch vertical lift, right? And I can never put the ball in the hoop. But also, there's a lot of rules in basketball, right? Like you got to dribble the ball as you go down the court. What happens if you don't dribble?
Traveling.
Traveling, right?
And so, if you double dribble, you know.
Yeah, it's a basketball man too. Basketball.
So there's a lot of rules in basketball. If you don't understand the rules, how successful do you think you're going to be? Zero. But that's the same thing with money. There are rules to the money game, but we don't know the rules. Okay, so we go through life not knowing the rules. How do you think we're going to be successful with our money?
I mean, all we've been taught was save your money.
Save your money.
And they teach you, where do you save your money? Put it in the bank. You see, that's what they want us to do.
Returns.
But there's no returns. I mean, they'll say, hey, we'll put in your savings with very little returns, or none, depending on who you bank with. But
so question things for a minute. Okay. Who's telling you to put the money in the bank?
The schools. I mean, as soon as you learn
from day one.
Day one.
Okay.
They say put it in the bank.
So I want you to remember this term.
Okay.
It's called fractional banking. Okay. And I want to teach you some of the rules, right? The rules to the money game. I want you to understand this. One of the first rules to the money game is called the rule of 72. It's the rule of compound interest. If you Google this, you'll see a picture of Albert Einstein. What Einstein said is those who understand this rule will earn more money, while those that don't will pay more money. Okay? So the rule of 72, you just take the rate of return you earn on your money, you divide it into the number 72. It tells you how long it takes for your money to double. So let's relate this to the bank. What kind of rate of return does the bank pay right now?
In your savings?
In your savings.
It's like what?
Average rates for the banks.
0.5 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's a fraction of a percent.
Yep.
Right? So that's hard to calculate. So I'm going to round up. I'm going to give the bank the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them 1%.
Yeah,
so they're going to pay you 1%.
That's a lot.
Because calculating fractions is crazy, right?
Because it's actually like 0.05 or something.
It's less than that, right?
0.02
So
or
1%. 1 goes into 72 how many times, Steve?
72.
Okay. So say you're 29 years old. Okay? You go to the bank with $10,000.
Okay.
You say, Mr. Banker, I want to save this money. He's like, Steve, you came in on the perfect day. We have a special CD rate. We're going to give you 1% on your money, and you're going to get a free toaster. All right? So you put that money in. 1 goes into 72 times. If you're 29 years old today, your money would not double until you're 101.
You'll probably be dead. You probably won't live long to see it.
Okay. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to get angry now.
Okay.
You're going to get angry. So you give them $10,000, and the banker's also, you know what, Steve? Since you opened an account with us today for $10,000, we're going to give you our credit card. Okay? So now you have a credit card from the bank. We're going to give you a $10,000 limit. Well, what's the average interest rate on a credit card right now?
22.9.
Around 22%. So it's somewhere between 18 and 24%. So do you realize that 20%, your debt is doubling every 3.5 years? So we're going to give you less than 1% on your money. We're going to hold on to your $10,000, but we're going to give you a credit card with a $10,000 limit, and we're going to charge you 20-something%. Do the math.
Wow.
They're giving your own money back and charging you to use it.
Ain't that illegal?
No.
Nope.
It's called, the banks are allowed to lend up to 10 times, what they hold in reserves. It's called fractional banking. Google it, look it up. It'll make you angry. They're loaning your money out up to 10 times. All right. So the first rule of money is the rule of compound interest, the rule of 72.
Yep.
Okay. So there's another way that you can invest money, and you're going to average about 4%. Okay. And that's usually typically, like, if you want something safe, guaranteed, 4% is like a whole life policy, right?
Yeah.
But you're not earning interest, you're getting a dividend. Okay. Now let's do the rule of 72 with a whole life policy. 4% goes into 72 every 18 years. So from 29, okay, to you're in your 40s, and then by 65, you've doubled that money twice. So $10, $20, $40,000 by age 65.
Wow.
Now, remember, I was sitting there in that house with that woman in retirement. She was in her 70s. Her $40,000 was gone. How long do you think $40,000 is going to last you in retirement?
2 years, if you're lucky. 1 year
If you're super frugal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in college, I was broke. I lived on ramen noodles and bologna sandwiches.
Yeah.
Well, guess what you're doing in retirement?
Same
Same thing.
So it's not that great, is it? 4%. But what if you could earn 6%? Well, where are you going to earn 6%? Well, average historical rate of return for mutual funds, which is where most people go to invest for retirement, mutual funds, right? The average return is right around 6%.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 6%. Now your money's doubling every 12 years. So you get one more time of compounding. So by age 65, you now have $80,000.
True.
A little bit better,
Yeah.
but how long is that going to last? Then maybe you have a year,
Yeah.
right?
But that's still better than nothing.
It is better than
Better than
nothing.
nothing, yeah.
But what if you could average like 12%? Now your money's doubling every 6 years. So I want you to understand, this is the power of compound interest.
Okay.
It's 6%.
Okay.
Now you're getting 3 more times of compounding by age 65. How much do you think you have? Remember, at 6% you have 80,000.
80,000.
At 12%,
240,000?
you'd have 340,000
340.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
just by getting a higher rate of return.
Yeah.
So you got to be smart with your money. You can't become wealthy from the bank.
No.
You have to truly invest. Okay? So 340, way better than 40.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing is, if you're 29 years old right now, your full retirement age is probably 72, so you let it double one more time,
Yeah.
guess what? You got 1.3 mil